My partner listed all the ways I was holding her back. I listened carefully and agreed. I didn't argue or push back. That one choice changed the entire power dynamic in a way she wasn't ready for. You know what your problem is? You're comfortable being average. I looked up from my laptop. Rachel was standing in the doorway of our bedroom, arms crossed. That look on her face I'd been seeing more and more lately. The look that said she'd been thinking about this for hours, maybe days. You're not even going to defend yourself? She asked. I closed the laptop slowly. Do you want me to? Her eyes narrowed. See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. No fire. No ambition. Just acceptance. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. I'm 31. Rachel is 29. We'd been together for 4 years, living together for 2. This conversation had been building for months, and I knew it. I made a list, she said, pulling out her phone. Of course she did. Rachel was a project manager at a tech startup. Lists were her love language. A list, I repeated, of all the ways you're holding me back. Do you want to hear it or not? I leaned back against the headboard. Go ahead. She unlocked her phone, scrolled for a moment, started reading. 1. You haven't gotten a promotion in 3 years. You're still in the same position you were in when we met. I nodded. 2. You turned down that job offer from the consulting firm because you didn't want to travel. True. 3. You refuse to network. You never go to industry events. You don't even update your LinkedIn. Also true. 4. You're content with our apartment when we could be saving for a house if you just pushed yourself harder. I watched her face as she read. She wasn't angry exactly. She was disappointed. That was worse. 5. You don't have a 5-year plan. When I ask you where you see yourself, you just shrug. 6. You discourage me from taking risks because you're risk-averse yourself. 7. You never want to go out anymore. All our friends are moving forward, and we're just here. She paused, looking up. Should I keep going? There are 3 more. Finish it, I said quietly. Her thumb moved on the screen. 8. You've gained 20 pounds since we moved in together, and you don't seem to care. That one stung, but I kept my face neutral. 9. You're defensive when I try to motivate you. 10. You make me feel guilty for wanting more out of life. She lowered the phone. Waited. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. I could feel the weight of the moment. This was where I was supposed to argue. Tell her she was wrong. Get defensive, prove point 9 correct. Or maybe apologize, promise to change, beg her to give me another chance. Instead, I said, you're right. Her expression flickered. What? You're right. About all of it. I stood up, walked to the window. Our apartment overlooked a parking lot and a strip mall. Not exactly aspirational. I haven't gotten promoted because I don't want the promotion. It means more hours, more stress, more bullshit. I turned to face her. I turned down the consulting job because I hate traveling. I like being home. Her mouth opened slightly. I don't network because I find it exhausting and fake. LinkedIn is a performance I'm not interested in giving. We could save for a house, sure, but I like this apartment. It's enough. I moved closer. I don't have a 5-year plan because life doesn't work that way for me. I'm not wired for that kind of thinking. And yes, I've gained weight because I'm not 25 anymore and I care more about being happy than being lean. Rachel's arms dropped to her sides. So you're just admitting it? Why wouldn't I? You're not wrong. Those are all accurate observations about who I am. She blinked several times. But don't you want to fix any of it? No. The word landed between us like a stone. No. Rachel, you made a list of all the ways I'm holding you back. But here's what I'm hearing. You want me to be someone else. That's not. You want someone ambitious. Someone who networks and travels and obsesses over promotions and 5-year plans. I sat on the edge of the bed. Someone who sees this apartment as a stepping stone instead of a home. Someone who goes to parties with your work friends and performs enthusiasm about corporate ladder climbing. Her face was pale. I don't want you to be someone else. Then what do you want? She didn't answer right away. When she did, her voice was smaller. I want you to want more. But I don't. And that's the disconnect, isn't it? I looked at her directly. I'm not holding you back, Rachel. You're staying. Her breath caught. What's that supposed to mean? It means if you want all those things, the promotions, the house, the networking, the ambitious partner, nothing is stopping you from having them. Except you're not that partner. I'm not that partner, I confirmed. She sat down heavily on the chair by the dresser. So that's it. You just don't care enough to try. I care about you, but I won't pretend to be someone I'm not. That's not fair to either of us. The room felt very still. I thought you'd fight for us, she said quietly. Fighting for us would mean promising to change. And then 6 months from now, we'd be right back here, with you resenting me for being myself. I rubbed my face. You made a list of 10 things wrong with me. That's not a rough patch, Rachel. That's incompatibility. She stood abruptly. I need some air. Okay. That's it. Just okay. What do you want me to say? She grabbed her jacket, her keys. I don't know. Something. Anything other than this. Acceptance. Would you prefer I lie? She stared at me for a long moment, then left without answering. The apartment felt enormous in her absence. I sat there in the silence, replaying the conversation. The truth was, I'd seen this coming for months. Maybe longer. Rachel had always been ambitious. It was one of the things that attracted me to her initially. She had goals, drive, a clarity about what she wanted from life. But somewhere along the way, my lack of those same traits stopped being charming and started being a problem. She'd come home excited about a new opportunity at work, and I'd be happy for her, but not inspired to seek the same for myself. She'd talk about buying a house, and I'd point out that we'd lose flexibility and take on debt. She'd suggest weekend trips, networking events, dinner parties with colleagues. I'd suggest staying in, cooking together, watching movies. Different wavelengths. Different values. I opened my laptop again, but couldn't focus on work. Instead, I found myself thinking about the last time I'd felt genuinely excited about something. It was 3 months ago. I'd started learning woodworking. There was a community workshop in our neighborhood, and I'd taken a beginner class on a whim. Something about working with my hands, creating something tangible, following my own pace. It felt right. I'd mentioned it to Rachel once. She'd said, "That's nice, but is there money in it?" I hadn't brought it up again. My phone buzzed. A text from my brother. Still on for Sunday? I'd forgotten. We had plans to watch the game at his place. I replied, "Yeah, I'll be there." Another text came through immediately. "Everything okay? You sound off." I stared at the message. Was I off? Or was I maybe, for the first time in months, actually honest with myself? I didn't reply. Rachel came home 3 hours later. I was in the kitchen making dinner. Pasta, nothing fancy. She dropped her keys on the counter. "We need to talk." "Okay." I went to Katie's. Told her about our fight. Katie was her best friend from college. I kept stirring the sauce. "What did Katie say?" "She said you're gaslighting me by refusing to engage." I almost laughed. "That's not what gaslighting means." "She said you're being passive-aggressive." "I'm being direct." "That's the opposite of passive-aggressive." Rachel leaned against the counter. "Why aren't you fighting for this relationship?" I turned off the stove. "Rachel, I love you. But I can't be the person you need me to be. You keep saying that, but you won't even try. Because trying would mean faking it. And then what? We get engaged, married, and 5 years from now you realize I'm still the same person?" She bit her lip. "You're supposed to grow in a relationship." "Grow, yes. Transform into someone else." "No." I plated the pasta, set one in front of her. She didn't touch it. "Do you even want this to work?" she asked. "Not if working means I have to apologize for being content." Content is just another word for lazy. There it was. The real issue. "Maybe it is," I said. "To you." She pushed the plate away. "I'm going to bed." "Rachel." She paused in the doorway. "I'm not the villain here. Neither are you. We just want different things. I want you. You want the version of me that doesn't exist." She left without another word. I ate alone, cleaned up, then went to the living room. Sat in the dark for a while. My phone buzzed again. This time it was an email. From Marcus, my old college roommate. Subject line, opportunity. I opened it. He was starting a furniture design company and needed someone who understood both the creative and practical sides. Had I still been doing woodworking? Was I interested in talking? The timing was almost absurd. I read the email 3 times. It wasn't a corporate ladder. It wasn't a promotion or a 5-year plan. It was just different. Something that actually interested me. I forwarded it to myself to deal with tomorrow. Rachel and I barely spoke for the next 2 days. She worked late both nights. I went to the workshop, made progress on a bookshelf I'd been designing. On Thursday, she came home early. Found me at the kitchen table sketching furniture designs. "What's that?" "Just something I'm working on." She looked over my shoulder. "This is actually really good." "Thanks. When did you get so into this?" "I've been doing it for a few months." She pulled out a chair, sat down. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I did. Once. You asked if there was money in it." She winced. "I don't remember that." "I know." She studied the sketches for a long moment. "Can I ask you something honestly?" "Sure." "Do you think I'm materialistic?" The question surprised me. "No. I think you're ambitious. There's a difference. Katie said I'm being unfair to you. I thought Katie said I was gaslighting you. She said both things. Rachel smiled weakly. She's a complicated friend. I set down my pencil. You're not being unfair. We're just incompatible. Stop saying that. Why? It's true. She reached across the table, touched my hand. Because it sounds so final. Rachel, I don't want to lose you. But you don't want to keep me as I am. That's the problem. Her eyes filled with tears. What if I tried to accept you as you are? Could you? She didn't answer right away. I don't know, she finally said. But I want to try. I squeezed her hand. That's not good enough. For either of us. So what are you saying? I'm saying maybe we need to face the fact that loving each other isn't enough. The tears spilled over. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Rachel. You want someone who shares your ambitions. I want someone who shares my contentment. We can find a middle ground. We've been trying to find middle ground for months. That's why you made the list. She pulled her hand back. I shouldn't have done that. You should have. You were honest. That took courage. It was cruel. It was honest. There's a difference. She wiped her eyes. So what now? I took a breath. I got an email from an old friend. He's starting a furniture business. Wants to know if I'm interested. Her face changed. That's great. That's what I've been saying. You need something you're passionate about. But it's not about a career for me. It's about enjoying the work. Does that matter? It's still ambition. No, it's not. It's craft. It's different. She shook her head. I don't understand the distinction. I know. And that's okay. The realization settled over her slowly. You're leaving, aren't you? I'm considering it. The business is in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. She stood up abruptly. So you're just going to run away? I'm going to pursue something that makes me happy. That's not running away. And what about us? What about us? You want me to change and I can't. I want you to accept who I am and you can't. I never said I can't. You made a list of 10 things wrong with me, Rachel. 10. Her face crumpled. I was frustrated. I didn't mean. You did mean it. And you were right to say it. I stood, walked to her. You deserve someone who wants the same life you do. Someone who gets excited about promotions and networking and 5-year plans. And you deserve someone who's okay with mediocrity. The word hung in the air. Is that what you think of me? I asked quietly. She looked away. No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Yeah, you did. I moved past her, into the bedroom. Started pulling a duffel bag from the closet. What are you doing? I'm going to stay at my brother's for a few days. Give us both some space. You don't have to leave right now. I think I do. She watched me pack in silence. When I zipped the bag, she said, I love you. I love you too. That was never the question. Then why does it feel like you're giving up? I'm not giving up. I'm being realistic. I picked up the bag. She blocked the doorway. What if I said I'd move to Portland with you? You'd hate it. You'd resent me within 6 months. You don't know that. Rachel, your career is here. Your friends are here. Your life is here. You're here. I'm one part of your life. And apparently, the part that's holding you back. She flinched. I shouldn't have said that. But you feel it. And that's what matters. I gently moved her aside. I'll call you in a few days. Wait. I turned back. What? If this is really it. I need to know. Did you ever want what I wanted? The question deserved honesty. No. I thought I could. But I never did. She nodded slowly. So I was in love with someone who was never going to meet me halfway. We're both in love with people who don't exist. You want me ambitious. I want you content. Neither of us can be what the other needs. I walked to the door. Take care of yourself, Rachel. I left before she could respond. My brother's place was across town. He opened the door, took one look at me, and said, Beer? Yeah. We sat on his couch for an hour before he asked what happened. I told him everything. The list, the conversation, the Portland opportunity, all of it. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. So you just agreed with her? What else was I supposed to do? Fight? Defend yourself? Tell her she was being unreasonable. She wasn't being unreasonable. She was being honest. He shook his head. That's some Zen master shit right there. I laughed despite everything. It's not Zen. It's just acceptance. Of what? That sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes you're just fundamentally incompatible. He took a long drink. You really thinking about Portland? Yeah. That's a big move. I know. But you want to do it? Did I? I think so. Marcus's company is small, just starting out. It's not about building an empire. It's just about making good furniture. Sounds like you. Yeah. And Rachel? She'll be okay. She'll find someone who matches her energy. What about you? I looked at the beer in my hand. I'll be okay too. He didn't look convinced, but he didn't push. I stayed at his place for 5 days. Rachel texted twice. First text, I'm sorry for everything I said. Second text, can we talk when you're ready? I didn't reply to either. Not because I was angry, because I didn't know what to say. On the 6th day, I called Marcus. Told him I was interested in the Portland position. He was thrilled, said he'd send over details. I hung up feeling lighter than I had in months. That night, I finally texted Rachel back. Can I come by tomorrow to get some things? She replied immediately, of course. I'll be at work until 6. The next day, I let myself into the apartment. It felt different somehow. Smaller. I packed methodically. Clothes, books, tools, the sketches from the table. I was almost done when I heard the door open. Rachel stood there, earlier than expected. Hey, she said. Hey. She looked at the boxes. You're really doing this? Yeah. She set down her bag. Portland. Portland. When? End of the month. She nodded slowly. Okay. Okay. What do you want me to say? Don't go? I already tried that. I taped up the last box. I'm sorry it ended this way. Are you though? The question caught me off guard. What? Are you actually sorry? Or are you relieved? I thought about it. Both. She smiled sadly. At least you're honest. That's all I can be. She walked to the window, looked out at the parking lot. I've been thinking a lot the past few days. Yeah. About what you said. That I want you to be someone else. She turned to face me. You were right. I do. The admission hung between us. I kept telling myself I just wanted you to reach your potential. But the truth is, I wanted you to reach my potential. Rachel. No, let me finish. I was so focused on where we should be going that I never stopped to ask if you wanted to go there at all. She crossed her arms. And when you agreed with everything on my list, it broke the narrative I'd been telling myself. What narrative? That you were holding me back. That if you just changed, everything would be perfect. She sat on the arm of the couch. But you weren't holding me back. I was holding myself back, waiting for you to become someone you never agreed to be. I didn't know what to say. I'm not the villain, she continued. Neither are you. We're just incompatible, I finished. Yeah. We sat in silence for a moment. For what it's worth, she said, I think you're going to be really happy in Portland. Thanks. And I'm sorry I called you mediocre. That was shitty. You were hurt. Still shitty. I picked up a box. I should get going. She stood. Can I ask one last thing? Sure. When did you know that we weren't going to work? I thought back. Remember when I told you about the woodworking class? Vaguely. You asked if there was money in it. And I realized in that moment that we measured success completely differently. She looked down. I really said that. Yeah. God, I'm such an asshole. You're not. You're practical. Ambitious. There's nothing wrong with that. Just not compatible with someone who wants to make furniture for the love of it. Exactly. She walked me to the door. Good luck, she said. You too. We hugged. Brief and awkward. Then I carried my boxes down to the car. I didn't look back. 2 weeks later, I was in Portland. Marcus's workshop was in a converted warehouse in the industrial district. It smelled like sawdust and possibility. This is incredible, I said, running my hand along a workbench. It's a start, Marcus said. We've got 3 commissions lined up already. What kind? Custom dining tables, a bookshelf, and a headboard. All from word of mouth. He showed me the designs. They were good. Really good. I can't pay you much to start, he admitted. But if things take off, I'm not worried about the money. He grinned. Rachel would have hated that answer. Probably. How is she? No idea. Haven't talked to her since I left. That's probably for the best. Yeah. I spent the first week learning Marcus's systems, getting familiar with the tools, sketching new designs. It felt right in a way my old job never had. No performance reviews. No networking events. No 5-year plan. Just wood, tools, and the satisfaction of making something with my hands. On Saturday, I explored the neighborhood. Found a coffee shop I liked, a grocery store, a park. Portland suited me. Slower pace, creative community, less emphasis on corporate climbing. I texted my brother. I think I made the right call. He replied, proud of you, man. A month passed. Then 2. I fell into a rhythm. Work, walks, occasional drinks with Marcus and his partner. Simple, but satisfying. One evening, my phone buzzed with a notification. LinkedIn. Rachel had updated her profile. She'd gotten promoted. Senior project manager. I smiled. She'd gotten what she wanted after all. I closed the app without looking further. 3 months in, Marcus and I landed a major commission. A restaurant wanted custom tables and chairs for their entire space. It was more work than we'd done combined up to that point. Can we handle this? I asked. With help, yeah. I know a couple of other craftspeople who might want in. We spent the next 6 weeks on that project. Long days, sore muscles, sawdust in every crevice. And I loved every minute of it. The night we delivered the final pieces, the restaurant owner walked through, testing each chair, running her hands along each table. "This is beautiful work," she said. "Thank you. I'll be recommending you to everyone I know." Marcus and I celebrated with beers at a dive bar. "To finding the thing that fits," he said, raising his glass. "To finding the thing that fits," I echoed. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Rachel. Got your number from your brother. Hope that's okay." I stared at the message. Showed it to Marcus. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "I don't know. Do you want to talk to her?" Did I? I don't think so. Then don't. I put the phone away. Didn't reply. Whatever Rachel needed to say, I couldn't help her with it. That chapter was closed. A week later, another text. "I get it if you don't want to talk. Just wanted to say I was wrong about a lot of things. And I hope you're happy." I read it several times. Finally replied, "I am. I hope you are too." She didn't text back. That was okay. Sometimes closure isn't a conversation. Sometimes it's just acceptance. 6 months into Portland, I'd settled completely. My apartment was small but mine. The work was steady. I'd even started dating someone I met at a gallery opening. She was a painter, understood the pull of creating something just for the sake of creating it. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people enjoying each other's company. One evening, she asked, "Do you ever regret leaving your old life?" No, not even a little. Rachel was right about one thing. I was comfortable being average by her standards. I poured us more wine, but I'm not average by my own standards. I'm exactly where I want to be. That's a good place to be. Yeah. She studied one of my sketches pinned to the wall. "You know what I like about you?" "What?" "You're content without being complacent. You know the difference." I never thought about it that way, but she was right. Contentment didn't mean stagnation. It meant being satisfied with growth that was internal rather than external. Creating because I loved it, not because it impressed anyone. Living in a way that felt authentic, even if it didn't look ambitious from the outside. Rachel had made a list of 10 ways I was holding her back. But really, we were holding each other back from the lives we actually wanted. She needed someone to chase success with. I needed someone to be present with. By refusing to fight, by simply agreeing and accepting our incompatibility, I'd given us both permission to stop pretending. That was the power shift she hadn't expected. She'd wanted me to argue, to promise change, to prove I cared by transforming myself. Instead, I'd cared enough to let her go. And in doing so, I'd freed us both. The last time I thought about Rachel was on a Sunday morning. I was in the workshop, radio playing, sun streaming through the windows. I was hand-planing a piece of walnut, watching the curls of wood fall away. It was meditative, perfect. And I realized, I didn't miss my old life at all. Not the job, not the apartment, not even the relationship. I missed who I thought I was supposed to be. But I didn't miss actually being that person. Because I never was. The walnut smoothed under my hands. I checked the grain, adjusted my angle, kept working. Outside, Portland moved at its own pace. Unhurried, creative, content with being itself. Just like me. That's where my story ends. Not with a grand gesture or a dramatic reunion. Just with acceptance of who I am, what I want, and the life that actually fits. Rachel was right about me. And by agreeing with her, I finally became right with myself.